So, Jax, we have a hammer from Adam Bruno. Thank you very much. So, this is a 12-team Superflex, half PPR. There's a point 0.5 first down bonus as well, start 11. Adam traded Gibbs for Rashee Rice, BTJ, and Zay Flowers. So, this is a cascade trade. Let's go through it piece by piece as if we're going through the process. So, traded Gibbs, you got Rashee Rice, BTJ, and Zay Flowers in a start 11.
Yeah, I mean, I think he did pretty good here. I mean, if you sort of walk this all the way through, you'd have to put him, before and after. And I don't know that I can do that in my head, so I'm not going to pretend to be so smart. I don't think you can either, Clay. Am I right?
No, not a chance. That's why we're going in 3 stages here. Yeah,
not a chance. But I actually, the Gibbs for Rashee, BTJ, and Zay Flowers is really league dependent. Right? Like if it's a shallow league, it's kind of like, I don't know, you got wide receiver depth for no reason. But, the 12 by 11, half PPR, I think, the half first down kind of like, Gibbs is pretty sweet in that format too, isn't he?
Yeah, it's tough. I mean, we don't know the rest of his team and all, but yeah, okay, let's move on to the next one. So traded Gibbs for Rice, BTJ, and Flowers, then took BTJ and his 25 second for Christian Watson and a 25 first.
I love that trade.
I love it too, but if you listen closely, Christian Watson is hurting something right now. He's some kind of soft tissue injury.
Yeah.
Picking up something off the floor. But no, that's a great trade. That's a good way to be able to do a second first swap, right? What are your thoughts?
Yeah, no, I love it. Anytime I can trade, a player for, a first, a player and a second for a first, I mean, really, you're doing great. And then he gets Christian Watson on top. I mean, not to say that, Brian Thomas Jr., BTJ isn't going to be worth more than a first. It's certainly possible. He could become a superstar. But, at the very end of the day, at least you sort of replace some production. Maybe even Christian Watson ends up being better than Brian Thomas. I mean, it's in the realm of possibilities, and you get the profit. I love those trades. Those are my favorite types of trades because it just insulates you going forward. So I absolutely love it.
Definitely. If you can pull that off in your league, doing a move like that, where hopefully you're not losing too much in the way of points if Watson is playing and hopefully in your lineup in the start 11, being able to do that swap is give it a shot. Yeah. So then sent Waddle and a first for Marv. How did I do? I mean, fantastic, unless that's an early 25, right? Like the 101 or 102.
Yeah. I mean, at the end of the day, you can, I don't love trading firsts for, especially giving up Waddle and a first to get to a player who's unknown. I mean, it's possible that Waddle and Marvin Harrison are very similar producers at the NFL level. It's certainly also possible that Marvin Harrison Jr. is an absolute star. So I understand that. He could be on the Justin Jefferson, Malik Neighbors level. See what I did there? But it's certainly possible that he's in that elite tier. But it's also possible he's in the Michael Pittman to T. Higgins tier as well.
With a really sexy name and dynasty insulation, because you got it.
Possible.
That's a tricky one, man. It is a tricky one because I was very quick to say Marv, but it is a start 11. You're getting 0 leverage. You're doing a 2-for-1, and yeah, I mean, if it's a mid 25 first and Waddle, I don't think I could do it. I would keep Marv, but we'll keep moving here. Adam, thanks for that hammer. And today you'll hear us talking through these trades and say start 9, start 11. So that's how many players you start in your lineup each week, not including kicker and defense. So the idea is a start 9, start 8. Those are super shallow. You want just hammers in your lineup. Best players you can get in your lineup. Start 11, like that question, that's where it gets a little bit more deep to where players like, Zay Flowers, BTJ and all, they're relevant because there's a good chance they're in your starting lineup. So let's keep moving here. We're going to go to Shane's mom. Nice. All right. So thank you for the 3 hammers.
If you need to.
Yeah, it's Diana, friend of the show. Yeah. So 12-team Superflex PPR. It is a start 2 tight end, but no tight end premium. Start 10 total. So Mahomes, Levis, Darnold at quarterback. You got CMC, Gus, Algier, Brain Rob out running back. JJ, Debo, DJ Moore, Godwin, Curtis Samuel at wide receiver, and then Kincaid and Jonnu at tight end. Only has a 25-second. Says, I like the team, but down tier to improve depth. And then there's a second part here. It is, what would you do to win it all and for the future? You guys are great. If I lose, Shane gets a new curfew. Oh, that's awesome. What do you think here, man? 12-team super flex, start 2 tight ends, start 10 total.
The team is not all that good. You know, I mean, if you think of it, it's like you have Mahomes, your quarterback 2 is a very, very big question mark. So you have huge question mark at QB2 in a super flex. Start 2 tight end, Kincaid, and then Jonnu. You're hoping Jonnu. I mean, I play in a couple 2 tight end leagues, and you know, even though they're not premium in this case, I play in a league like that as well, a 2 tight end non-premium. Those tight ends still matter because, you know, you're taking zeros where someone else may be stacking a Kelsey Laporta, you know, and they have a huge advantage over the field because you're playing. If Kincaid gets hurt or something like that, I mean, you're screwed. So, you know, and then depth. I mean, it's only a 12 by 10, and 2 of those are tight ends. So I think it's a little bit more shallow. Where CMC, JJ, Debo, DJ Moore, probably pretty good. But I mean, yeah, I don't know if I would be.
I wish I had my first. I wish I had my first. If I'm Shane's mom here.
Man. Yes.
You know, just as a little bit of a security. I mean, he's got Mahomes, CMC, JJ, DJ Moore, I guess. Yeah. He's got some points on the board, but this is exactly. It's not a winning team as it stands. Like Kincaid and Jonnu, you can get smoked at tight end, like you're saying.
Sometimes you can ride like Mahomes, CMC, JJ, right? Like sometimes it's just like, you know, I saw a team the other day. It was, I can't remember. They had Josh Allen, CMC, and I forget, it was like the number 1. Oh, Tyreek, right? And they didn't have much behind that, but they were the returning champs. And I was like, well, there it is. They had, you know, the number 1 player at each of the 3 big positions. And sometimes that's all it takes. And then just filling it around, especially in a start 10. So he's got a puncher's chance, but he's a very fragile team. And yeah, you're right. If things go wrong, his first becomes valuable. So yeah, I don't know about the tier down. I mean, the right tier down trade could work, especially off of CMC if you can. Maybe there's a win now team that would break apart CMC for you. I would be into that.
Yeah, so what could that look like? Let's say Ken Walker and a 26 first.
Done.
Would you give CMC? Done. Like that's,
yeah, I mean,
that's
perfectly have good to. Don't you have to?
Yeah, you have to. And he's asking about or Shane's mom is asking about depth. You need to get 2 for 2 for 1 in that case. And it's tough to turn that down. It's tough to turn that down. Yeah, I mean,
because you're really building around Mahomes and JJ. Even Debo would be a sell opportunity because he's the hotness right now. And I think everybody thinks he's going to have a big season. And for a win now team, you may be able to tier down there as well. And probably even more equitably to do so. You know, CMC obviously could win you the league, so maybe you want to hang on to him. I know Debo can also throw up some big weeks, but maybe that's where you can use Debo. I'm not sure. Maybe Levis comes through. You know what I mean? Like maybe I don't know. I know a lot of Levis.
I'm a hoper. I really am. I really am. Granted, I was with Zach Wilson as well. I liked him. That hasn't worked out. Whoopsies.
You have a type.
Yeah, I have a type, and I love a big X wide receiver. That's for sure. Anyway, yeah, I mean, this is the kind of team where I want to acquire some more capital. Shane's mom doesn't even list that she has her 26 first either, right? I would think that would be listed. Anyway, yeah, little marginal moves where you can pick up a second. Like, can you tier down from DJ Moore, and get a decent insulated wide receiver and a pick.
Yeah, that may be the 2 spots, the Debo and the DJ Moore. That's probably a good place to start. But where I always find it, like, it's wherever people are interested in your value. As soon
exactly.
You start talking about Debo and they say, "What about JJ?" and you're like, "Okay, let's talk." And like you hear them out, maybe it's a really neighbors plus picks, and you're like, wait a minute, this really worked. So there's ways to go about it depending on how the other manager looks at it.
No, definitely. And that's a good point that I was going to bring up is let the league market tell you what player they want. You put them all on the block, but there's kind of some some psychology behind it, to where you don't want to just throw all of your players on the block, because then it looks like you're desperate to, blow the sucker up or whatever. So tactical stuff. I always like to approach people who would get a stack out of a trade with me with a specific player. Anyway.
Yep.
All right, let's keep on moving here. Thanks for those 3 hammers, Shane's mom. And if you want your hammers answered, your questions answered live on the YouTube machine and Twitter, buymeacoffee.com/tradesand5, and we'll answer it on a live stream. We're going to be doing a bunch tonight as well for our usual Tuesday stream. So Yard Dog, for example, Swedish Mafia, we got you tonight. We're hammering out some others. All right, rock on. Enough talk about that. And Jax, it's awesome having you here.
Thanks,
always.
Brother. Love to be here.
Man.
Love you guys. You know that.
Rock on. Okay, so Cade, a hammer from him, says, hey guys, commissioner of a startup, 10-team start 10, super flex, half PPR. There is a 0.75 tight end premium, so 1.25 for tight ends. Most of us have only been doing fantasy for a few years, but all love it. Wanted to try out Dynasty. And then the next one is added 0.25 for receiving and rushing first downs. He's laying out other things, 0.1 for passing. Should he do IDP? Let me see what else here. Thoughts on an extra matchup each week against the median, anything else? Okay, so let's approach this way. It is a 10-team super flex start 10. Right off the bat, it sounds like they haven't drafted, right? Otherwise they wouldn't. Right. Otherwise, Cade wouldn't be asking if we like the scoring. Like, that would have already had to have been in place.
Seems
right?
Like it, right? Yeah, because I mean, you shouldn't be drafting before you know the scoring for sure. Obviously, because I mean, my number one bit of advice to anybody who's doing a startup is check the settings, check the lineup. I mean, you guys obviously all know this because it's part of the dialogue and the way that you guys talk is 12 by 10, all the rest of it. So looking at that stuff is hugely important. I did a private consultation for someone, and that's the first thing we did. We dove into his team. We found that they had no PPR, but 1 point per first down, and it was point per first down rushing and receiving. And so this really inflated, it's almost like a point per carry. You know what I mean? Exactly. Because you're getting the running backs are getting these, and of course the quarterbacks and all that. So we just I dove into this. And I was like, these are the types of players you should be targeting and trading for, and it opened up the world for them. But this is what's important. You almost want to look at the scoring right off the get. Look, I'm a point per first down zealot. I'm a half PPR, half point per first down. I love it. I think he was saying 0.1 for passing first down. Kind of interesting. Yeah. I don't know. I mean, a lot of times the quarterbacks are getting, inflated scoring as it is. And if you have the rushing first down too, I don't know. I guess that's fine.
I would just ditch that.
I would too.
There's no real added value there.
Nope.
Your quick thoughts on IDPs? We don't play in IDP. Shane and Scott may play in one or something, but what are your thoughts on IDP?
I play in a couple IDPs. I'm not a huge. I have a couple of leagues where there's like one or two IDP players. Those are actually my least favorite. I like the ones that are deep. If you're going to play IDP, go for it. In my personal opinion, because then you are making some other roster decisions, and because otherwise the IDP has very little value. You're just playing a guy in IDP. You have one IDP slot. I got a great linebacker. I throw him in there. There's no real value to them. There's no way to trade them. Everybody's got a good IDP guy. They're easy to come by. But if you play in a true IDP, you maybe have, a full lineup or pretty close, maybe start 8 to 10, and then you have another 7 or 8 IDP. Now you're talking about a real IDP league. Then it's fun. But otherwise, I don't like just one spot.
Yeah, no, that's helpful because we don't cover IDP at all. And when I was reading this, most of us have only been doing fantasy for a few years, but all love it. Wanted to try out Dynasty. If it's me, my first league, I'm not messing around with the IDPs if I have questions about it, and if there's not big time league buy-in about it. So I'm just ditching that, the 0.1 passing, and then I would. Since you haven't done the startup, try getting it to be a 12-team start 10. Can you get 2 more teams or add another starter? If you're doing 10-team, that's totally fine, but make it at least start 11.
If not
I
12.
agree. if not 12.
I love deep
yes.
Starting lineups. They're very fun because then each player has its own value. Whereas a lot of times if you have a 10 by 10, many players in your league are almost valueless. They have no value. There's no reason to roster them.
Yeah, I mean, we get questions and rosters listed where it's a start 8, and you want as just hammers, but listing out like Zay Flowers. If Zay Flowers in your lineup in a start 8, you're not winning.
Yeah,
it's that kind of thing. So
yes,
make it a bit deeper. I'm with Jax. I love a first down bonus for receiving and rushing. I think we always do 0.5. I'm also in this case, I don't know, explore PPR with 1.75 for the tight ends. I do like, though, that does make running backs a little bit more relevant if it's half with I don't know. I hope that helped here, Cade.
And then he also asked about the
league median or playing against the median.
And the point per completion. I love it, man. I play in a number of point per completion. It just, you get a guy who goes, 15 of 38. It's a shitty day for a quarterback. Like, that's really bad. And if he threw like one big play and had a touchdown pass, like he almost finishes like a player who was like, 22 of 25, won the game and was dominant. So I like to add some value to that difference. It sort of adds completion percentage in there. There's throwaways and spikes and stuff like that. That, obviously is infuriating, but it basically does count the efficiency of the quarterback. So I do like those.
Yeah. And I'm just going to throw this in. Oh, no, sorry. Only a 0.25 tight end premium, 0.75 total.
Yeah.
Cade, I'm and it's good to see you. Thanks for the hammer. I'm adjusting that though. I don't know.
Well, you can also, I think if it's sleeper, you can also add a 0.25 first down to the tight end as well. So if you want to do that, that's a good way to double it up.
Exactly. If you want to do something like that, or just make it easier, have it be 1.75 for the tight ends or 1.5 for the tight ends, 0.5 for everybody else. Yeah. I don't know. Just look at it. Try not to make it too confusing in terms of the numbers, but rock on.
Well, in his defense, I wasn't confused. You were. So I'm only teasing.
I was 100% confused. And
I'm only
I feel alone now. I feel alone.
The
is
league,
this rock bottom if you're not confused? But I am. No.
The league median, playing against league median, like I have a 10-team league I play in where there's no league median, and it's like unbelievable, like so hard to win. Even a good team can be like a bad record because there's so much variance in that type of a setup. So if you're trying to actually get the best teams to advance, and you can look, I actually went to adopt this one time, and one of the guys was like, I don't want it. I was like, why? It makes the better team, be in first place more often. He goes, that's exactly why I don't want it. I want more variance. And because he knew he was sort of outmatched in the room. And I was like, that's a smart dude. So, I mean, you kind of know what you want. And, depending on the league, and I would say maybe just leave the variance because it'd be fun because you guys are all beginners. So,
Yeah, I agree. I can't offer up anything of greater value. Just be talking out of my ass for the most part because I was looking at something else.
Good job.
Yeah, thanks. Crushing it today. So we got a hammer from Tired DC Sports Fan. Gosh, I hear you on that.
14 by 10. Oh yeah, Tired DC Sports.
Yeah, so here we go. No, you're good. It's a 14-team super flex PPR, 1.5 for the tight ends, 4 point per passing touchdown, start 10. Stroud, Goff, Dimes, Minshew, and then Bijan.
Sure, it's not Mac Jones. Sorry,
it might be. Which one do we want to go with?
I'm only teasing.
If Mac Jones made a list, the entire DC sports fan, has issues.
Yes.
Stroud, Goff, Dimes, Minshew. Then running back wise, just Bijan and trash cans. The wide receivers looking pretty good. JJ, Chase, Pittman, Flowers, Hollywood. And then at tight end, Kincaid has 325 first, a 25 second, and all the futures. And the trade is sent Olave, Terry McLaurin, and Kittle for Chase.
Great work.
So 14 teamers start 10. So it's not shallow, but you're trading like what, a few quarters and nickels or whatever. Shade always nails that reference, but for Chase, go ahead. What are your thoughts?
Great trade. Love where he's at. I mean, he's got JJ, Chase, Pittman. He's got, it's shallow and it's not all at the same time. Like it's a 14 teamer, but it is shallow. It's 10, start 10. So, I mean, your starting lineup, look, if you can stack your lineup, you really have an advantage over 14 or 13 teams, I mean? So I love this. I love this move. Those guys have value in a 14 by 10. So I think it was a great trade. Love it.
Yeah, and the second part here is, should I use my extra rookie picks to acquire another hammer or more depth? Or should I hold for now and make moves during the season? Thanks for all the great content. Thank you. And yeah, that's something I was going to add, is it's awesome that he still has 325 first as well after that trade. If I'm selling Chase, there is a first round pick as part of that package that I'm getting in return. I don't know. That might just be me, but yeah, so the 325 first, are you messing with those right now to get a hammer? Let's just take a quick peek at this roster and see if it could have been trying to move them right now. Go ahead.
It could have been that the manager who got Olave really values Olave. So there are some people, this is where he really made out, because it could be that the other guy thinks, I got basically McLaurin and Kittle for free. I love Olave. He's right up there with all these guys. That could have been the way he looked at it. So that's a great trade. I personally like Chase a good tier well above Olave, me personally. Some people don't. So God bless them. In terms of, I've been preaching this, man. I've been playing Dynasty for a long time. I've tried all the different tactics. I've used my future first round picks to get hammers, and generally it never works out. I don't like it. You have a good enough team to go ahead and compete right now. And if it doesn't, then why did you use your first rounds to begin with? If you get someone and you don't win, that was stupid. And what if Chase and JJ get hurt, or who knows? Look, your team, you don't know what your team is in terms of this year's results yet. You just have a good team. You're not sure to win anything. Things can go off the rails very, very quickly. But if it all goes well, you can probably, purchase productive points at a cheaper price later to a team that's looking to get rid of it. So don't do shit with your 2025 first round picks. Hold on to them. Me personally, my first round picks, my future firsts, are in a vault. They just are. Me personally, that's the way I play. You can't have my firsts. And if you want them, you're going to have to pay. And so that's just the way I am. Anyway, that's me. No chance I'm getting rid of 25 first unless there's a really good offer.
Love it. Totally agree. So let me ask you this question. It doesn't have to relate exactly to tired DC sports fans situation exactly, but 4 point per passing touchdown. CJ Stroud, Jared Goff. Don't love them in that kind of format. But I guess my question is, how much do you look at 4 point versus 6 point per passing touchdown? And in a 14-team superflex, CJ Stroud is an elite dynasty asset, whether it's 4 point or 6 point or whatever. But I was just looking at this team, seeing if that's a small tier down. But thoughts on 4 point versus 6 point, Jax?
I do play a lot of 6, or a commission 6. I don't know, man. I always feel like a touchdown is how many points again? Let's review that. It is 6 still. They still so for me, I'm just like, it's 6. Dude put up 6. I don't know. I think it's from a days gone by. I just like 6. If you want to do other things to even it out or to give rushing quarterbacks even more value, which I don't think they need. That's the other reason I don't like it. Give the passing quarterbacks their value. Because when you're playing 4, man, God, these rushing quarterbacks and Konami stuff is just off the charts. It is, they are already there, even in 6 points. So, yeah, I just think, give a point per rushing first down, which is another way to give rushing quarterbacks even more, and it helps everybody else out, including, running backs, etc. So that's just my take. 6 points is how much a touchdown is. Give me 6 when I score one.
Yeah, I set up a few where I kind of like 5. I kind of like 5 in the middle, just to
you little waffler, you.
Exactly, so unnecessary there. So Jax, we are 25 minutes in. We have 665 eyeballs watching across the interwebs. Thanks so much for joining. Appreciate it. Hit that like if you'd be so kind. Easiest way to help out the channel. And again, if you want to get your trades answered on a live stream, we have our usual live stream tonight at 8:30, but buymeacoffee.com/tradesin5. And yeah, we'll hit it up. All right, tired DC sports fan, you got a nice long message there, or answer for your hammer. No, appreciate you.
Yes, sir.
Tired DC, I feel ya. Okay, so let's go to 3 hammers from Jay. This is a 12-team super flex. Let's assume it's full PPR. Active league, start 9. So Allen, A-Rich, Stafford at quarterback, Barkley, Connor, Brown, and trash cans running back, Pittman, Evans, Diggs, Dell, Pickens, Keon, and then Kincaid, Taysom Hill at tight ends. All future picks. Finished 3rd last year, but was unable to acquire a hammer wide receiver over the offseason, despite trying to sell everyone but my starting QBs. How would you guys go about trying to get a hammer on a contender with high draft picks? Okay, so Jay has his first, and they're going to be late. he hopes finish 3rd, 12-team superflex, start 9, shallow format. Jax, what are you doing with this team?
I love this team. I really do. I mean, it is start 9, so it's a little bit more of a team that I would like in a 12-12, that I play a lot. But even in a 12-9, it's still pretty good. He does have a lot of depth. I don't know why he put Dell as his 4th wide receiver. He should be first in that list. It should start with Tank Dell. You've got a hammer, baby. Just don't disrespect my boy. No, but I mean, look, Dell and Pickens could actually be more of a hammer. I don't think they're hammers, but they could be a little bit more of that potentially going forward. I love Allen and A-Rich. My gosh. I mean, that is so good. I mean, you've got the original and the 2.0, so you've got, and Stafford. I mean, just really great. I love that he's not overweight in his running back room. He's got some good players, but doesn't really have too much equity built up into his running backs where he has to break that up. Man, I can't say anything too bad about this team. I love the Pittman, A-Rich stack. I don't know how well you're going to do selling Evans or Diggs or even the other 3, the 3 young guys to position up to a hammer. I would think that maybe the best time to do that is when you're on the clock again with your first rounds. I mean, I would still sniff around, but I wouldn't try and overpay because you never know. I mean, obviously Evans has been, just like a absolute money machine over the years. And so, you can do okay here with what you've got. Pittman, Evans, Tank Dell. I don't hate it, but I understand what he's trying to do. It's just hard to do.
No, definitely. Well said there. Yes. I like how you said the not too overweight running back, Saquon, Connor, Brown, and Cans. Like, that's fine. Yeah, you'd love to tack on a first to one of these wide receivers and tier up. But like you said, what are you going to get for Evans, Diggs? Like, you could maybe use your boy, apparently Tank Dell or Pickens, or, Keon Coleman could be a very live asset. But let's say he hits, you got Josh Allen, like you were saying. It's a shallow start 9. So, you like stacks there.
For me, maybe you can do one of those 3-for-1s if someone's not quite aware. I mean, can you get, but again, Keon, Diggs, and something, what does that get you? I just don't know what that gets you. And I don't love trading my future picks, to get just up. I mean, like I said, if I'm trading it for a player, I don't know. I just, I don't want to use my future first to get up there. I think, here's another sort of dynasty game theory 101. Sometimes early in the year, you don't know who it's going to be, but early in the year, weeks 1, 2, 3, one of your guys, let's say Diggs just goes freaking crazy in the first 2-3 weeks, because it's certainly possible.
Sure.
Trade him immediately, because, I mean, he is who he is. I mean, he's not likely to, win the league for you. How often is it, there's always a rabbit, right? Early in the year, there's a lot of rabbits. They don't always finish as the wide receiver 1, the guy who starts that way. So I would look at maybe just, trading my rabbit early in the year, because you don't know who it's going to be. Even if it's Tank Dell. I mean, I love Tank, but even if he just blows up, has a couple 2 touchdown games, all of a sudden you can use him to get up there. There's your move.
Yeah, good stuff there.
Trade a rabbit for a hammer.
Wait, are you are you talking about tortoise and the hare? Is that what you mean? You
no,
said
like
rabbit.
A rabbit
starts off strong but loses the race.
Well, a rabbit is in a horse race, they send the rabbit out and he leads the pack. But I I mean, that's just the he's out in front, but
Someone's
going to be wrapped on this team. I don't know who it is.
I thought that was Greyhounds. I don't know. People will let us
Whatever.
know in the comments.
It's a Greyhound then. Fine. Not the horse. I mean the Greyhound. Yeah, the Greyhound. It's
yeah, and I like the fact, lastly, that it's an active league. So you can always apparently have the option to sell your first. So yeah, I like keeping it tight to the vest. Okay. All right. So let's keep moving here. Thank you again, Jay. I believe that was. Let's go to Admiral Rebo.
Nice.
Long time lurker, first time hammer. Hey, I love it. Appreciate you. Yeah, thanks for lurking, creeping in the background. Hit that like if you also lurk. Okay.
Is that a 12-team league there?
So 1 QB start 8 PPR low activity. We'll try to determine if this is 10 or 12 by just looking at the team first. That'll be fun.
Yeah.
So Justin Herbert, Aaron Rodgers at quarterback, Gibbs, Pacheco, Henry, Warren at running back, Devontae Adams, London, Diggs, Pittman, Flowers, and Cooper at wide receiver. And then Freg, I'm guessing that's Ferg,
right.
Ferguson and Ingram.
Freg, I like that.
Freg might have legs. Yeah.
When he has a bad game, he's Freg.
Where would you use your 25 first to tier up? I think I have more depth than I need to make a run. Okay, let's assume if it's a 1 QB start 8, it's a 10 team. We're going 10 team 1 QB start 8, as gross and shallow as you can get. What are you doing with the first? Because you can have my first in this format unless it's the 101, 102, 103.
I'm still a first round hoarder. So for me, I'm not sure. I don't know. That's a foreign pathway to winning for me. I mean,
sure.
At a start 8, you're just hoping that one of your wide receivers hits this year and becomes like, look, Adams is going to get 150 to 160 targets. What do those look like from Gardner Minshew? Certainly Pittman was pretty good last year. I mean, if you're trying to get a Puka, type player, with a first, I don't know. Can you do that? I mean, everybody loves London, don't you? Isn't he supposed to be no, seriously, like, isn't he a hammer? Like, I don't know. I'm not as much in the belief that London is a hammer. I just don't know. I haven't seen it. He hasn't. I mean, I know that he has had to suffer through, Arthur Smith and all sorts of bad quarterback play, but he's been okay. I don't know that all of a sudden, just because Kirk Cousins is going to get there, he's going to be a true hammer. So I would say if you could sell him as a hammer, maybe that's your guy. I don't know.
I agree.
Maybe you could sell him in something else. Maybe him and Flowers, London and Flowers. I mean, these two guys are, everybody loves them. Maybe that gets you to your hammer and you keep your first round pick so that way it can be sold with the hotness next year as well.
Yeah, love it. And again, this is a team where you can put everything on the block and let the league tell you. But it's a good team. Gibbs, Pacheco, Henry. Like I said, Adams. But yeah, if you can combine like Diggs and Flowers, or what did you say, London and Flowers, and get up to a hammer. And
you also have quarterback problems too. I mean, at the end of the day, it's a 1 quarterback league and you don't have a top 15 quarterback. Look, I love Herbert. He's a top whatever you want to say. But I mean, in terms of a redraft, if you're doing a redraft league right now, none of those guys go in the top 15 quarterbacks. So, you've got quarterback issue as well, but I wouldn't be trading out of Herbert because he'll probably turn it around. I mean, at some point, right?
Hope. In this shallow format too, with all the I'm not even going to try to think of the word, but don't you want like an A-Rich in this kind of format too, that could kind of break the league per se in the right kind of situation? 1 QB start 8. I mean,
they're literally the two wrong type of quarterbacks that you want in this format. You want like steady as she goes, rock solid dudes. I want guys that can go absolutely crazy, and that's an A-Rich type, absolutely.
And you have Pittman, which is why I was thinking of him as well. So that would be a stack, which you want to do in shallow formats too, I think, is what people tend to say anyway. Is that accurate? I don't want to say something wrong. Do you like stacking in shallow formats? Do you feel like, because there's so much variance?
Yeah, I like stacking. I mean, almost as much as possible. I mean, obviously in a redraft setting, you can't really as much. I mean, it's less important, but in Dynasty, I mean, yeah, why not? Because if something hits, then it all hits,
Yep. No, sounds good. Okay, let's keep on rolling here. 754 people watching now.
Woo!
Yeah,
Let's go.
I always say eyeballs because we have a heavy Cyclops population here at Dynasty Trades and 5, actually.
Right. Yeah.
And we're
Well,
huge
you
in
get to double the
Estonia.
number if you say eyeballs, you know?
Yeah, so let's go to this one from someone. Okay, says startup. That's fun. So a 12-team, 1 QB, start 8, PPR, picks 102, 108, 405, 708, etc. Traded my second, third, fifth, sixth for the
Woo.
102. How should I go about this draft? I'm thinking I go wide receiver, then AR-15 in round 4. First off, don't get ahead of yourself. Assuming that you don't want to try to predict your way to 405, but he's not gonna fall there. Also thinking about trading back trading back from my 108. Thank you. Okay. So it's a 12-team, 1 QB, start 8 PPR. So very shallow. In this traded his second, third, fifth, sixth for the 102. What are your
who
thoughts?
was the 102? I mean, is this a Bijan, JJ, or Lamb trade? Like,
I guess, yeah, because 102, I mean, 101 is, yeah, exactly. You're going to go, somebody's going to go CMC. I don't know. I'm sorry, not CMC. Bijan or JJ, Chase, whatever your flavor is.
I would call the guy that I just made this trade with and see if he wants to do it again, but reverse it. And
you gave
get all my other picks back. Why did I have to give?
You gave a 4 for 1.
Why did I give up 2, 3, 5, and 6 for the 102? That's expensive, especially a 2 in a 1 quarterback league. Boy, oh boy! I mean that the 2. So he's the 108. So that's what the 15th, 16th pick, 17th pick in a draft. 17. You gave up a third, a fifth, and a sixth to go from 17 to 2. I don't know, man. That's a big jump. Who's he taking? Like, what's happening? I'm so confused. Like, he's going to go wide receiver
to go up and take
a big move. Yeah, it's a big move.
Yeah.
It is a start 8, so I do understand it. So now that he's here, I guess he should definitely go wide receiver. I mean, in a start 8, you do need some big wide receivers. This is an interesting move. So now he's got the 405 and the 708, etc. Boy, oh boy, I don't know if I'm taking a quarterback in a 1 quarterback league. Now, you don't have the luxury of doing that necessarily. I mean, maybe
you got to go so gross.
You're going to be so
good one's not going to fall there. Yeah.
You're going to be at a disadvantage everywhere else. So you really paid up to have a positional advantage, and I'm not so sure you're going to have it. That's my concern, right? So I would have, me personally, I look at it start 8. Well, that's 8 rounds. So then I just want to, I'd love to trade my 12th and 11th for another 7th or something. That's where I want to get my guys in there because we know we're only starting, 8. I know that's but that's 8 rounds of players. You're going to draft who knows how many, 30 rounds, but most of that shit doesn't matter except the top 5, 6 rounds. So, I mean, yeah, those 5 and 6, 3, 5, and 6 were valuable picks in a setting like this. I think. I don't know about you. What do you think?
I totally agree. And just like heads up someone in this startup, if you do make a trade one way or another, try to get more picks back in return or assets, even if it's like a 25 second. But again, a 25 second isn't worth much in this format.
No.
Anyway, just make sure you're getting the same or more back in return.
Yeah.
That's always a golden rule, if you will, of ours.
Because he's going to have what's he going to have? I mean, Garrett Wilson and CeeDee Lamb. And then he's going to have Anthony Richardson and then a 7th round. Like, that's where his draft starts. Good luck, baby. Go get him. I mean, there's a lot gone by then, especially in a 1 quarterback, right? I mean, think about it. There's not, normally in those drafts, all the quarterbacks sort of push the talent into the 4th and 5th round. Here, it's like your talent's going to be gone by round 7. There's not going to be a ton of elite talents. You're going to have 3 shots at this. I don't know if I'd be, drafting a quarterback in the 4th round.
No, I think you have to go gross and then see if there's any stacking that you can do just to at least try to offset it. Let's address this real quick though. Thinking about trading back from 108. I mean, you said with this, I mean, yeah. Like what does that look like? You don't want to tear down too far. If you can get a big package like this one
like
that
you gave up,
traded away, then that's one thing. But I love how you said, in a start 8, this is an 8 rounds draft. I love that. It's like you just want hammers. So if you're going to trade back, sure, but don't trade back into kind of no man's land. And if you can move those like 10th, 11th, 12th, whatever you got there and package it up and not take an L in terms of the net, then absolutely get up as high as you can.
That's right. That's got to be the only way that you can sort of fix this. That's right. Yep.
Good stuff there. All right, Jax, we're gonna do one more. And if your hammer wasn't answered again and you're like, hey, I'm next in line, we're gonna hit that tonight on our usual stream. Actually, before I go here to Mateo's, just talk about yourself if you want to and what you're doing real quick. Well, it's not real quick because you have a lot going on, but go ahead.
You guys are like, just doing it. We love you. We're friends.
Likewise.
Like legitimately. We really respect you guys. So thank you so much for having me on. The Undroppables is where we're at, theundroppables.com. You can find us on Twitter. You can find my podcast at called The Undrafted. It's on our feed, The Undroppables. And also we're streaming that on the Player Profiler Network. And I know you guys also do a little bit of stuff cross with them as well. So we're just happy to be here and having fun. And, my show's been pretty successful and for whatever that's worth. I don't know why people want to listen to me, but that's okay.
No, because you're hilarious and know your shit. That's why. Yeah. And you're a fellow tall person. No,
yes. I met Clay at the expo, and I tweeted before I got there. I said I'll be measuring myself up against all the other analysts to see who's better, and the way that I'll be measuring is by height. And this guy's the only guy who beat me, man. I mean, it's like 6'6" out there, just dominating.
Your words. Okay, so let's go to Mateo 8 as the last one. Thank you for the 2 hammers. Appreciate it. This is a 12-team Superflex PPR start 9. So again, shallow. Mahomes, T-Law, Geno at quarterback. Brees, Saquon, Henry, Zach Moss, Marshawn Lloyd at running back. Pittman, Cup, Keenan, Rome, JSN, and then has a couple others listed there. Hawkinson and Parkinson at tight end. No picks in 25. Does have futures beyond that. Recent deals here. So moved JT and McLaurin for Garrett Wilson. Okay. First off, what are your thoughts there before I move to the Cascade here?
Love that one, but I didn't see Garrett Wilson in his
listed
team.
there.
So but I guess that just add him in there, which actually.
But it's coming. No, it's coming here. Look.
Nice.
So then.
I see.
Garrett Wilson. Yeah. Garrett Wilson for Rome and JSN says still unsure on that one, but all good. Already happened. So what are your thoughts of that trade? You gave Garrett Wilson, you got Rome and JSN.
Yeah. It's a big bet on Rome, I guess. It's not bad. I'd love to do that in a deeper league. This is a 12-9. I'd love to do that in a 12-11, 12-12. Then I love that trade. I don't hate it though. I think Rome is going to be fine. I think he's going to be really, really fine. So, but Garrett Wilson does have some extreme ceiling here. I mean, he's been earning targets at an incredible rate. What was he been? Basically 150 targets 2 seasons straight, just incredible. And so, if he gets that type of target, earning with a quarterback like Aaron Rodgers or whomever might, be his quarterback down the line, he could be a real player. I mean, he could be a hammer, one of those top 5. He's pretty close now already to the top 5 dynasty wide receivers. I think he's there already. So, look, Rome has to really come through for you. I think people are sleeping a little bit on JSN too. So I don't hate it. Again, given the format with only start 9, maybe it was a little bit of a bad trade. I can see why you're a little bit unsure, but it's fine. Let me see that lineup again. Yeah, I was going to say, I love this team though. I mean, Pittman, Rome, JSN. Yeah, I mean, it's just you're a little bit, a little
wide
bit
receiver
deep when you might be
out.
Yeah.
But no, I thought like the trade, at least they were both live assets that you traded for. JSN, he's got the narrative to where you would be able to flip him if you wanted to very easily, and whatever, you have the Geno stack. But no, yeah, so that one's
I also think
fine.
both JSN and Rome will increase in value this year.
You heard it here first.
Yeah, I do.
Your friends and our friends at Fantasy Receipts, they could mark.
Don't get me in trouble. That's not me. I mean, I do take credit for everything they've ever done, though.
There you go. Do we answer the other part? No, trying to win this thing after coming close to yours. All right, what any potential moves with this roster?
I mean, golly.
Ideally, I'm getting one more hammer at wide receiver, and I also like Garrett Wilson, and I the start 9 wouldn't necessarily have done that, but now I kind of want to see if I can have my cake and eat it too by packaging 2 of these other guys.
I've got one. This is a trade that people have asked me, should I do this trade? And I always say absolutely not. They say, should I trade one of my 25 firsts for Derrick Henry? And I was like, no, don't do that. But apparently a lot of people are doing that. So you have Derrick Henry. And you don't need it. It's a start 9. You have Breece and Saquon. See if you can trade Derrick Henry for a 25 first. The 25 first becomes a more liquid asset. You can't give Derrick Henry plus something to get an elite hammer wide receiver, but you can give a 25 first plus something to maybe get there. So yeah, maybe see if there's anybody crazy enough to give up a 25 first for Derrick Henry. And then if you have to incentivize them adding a future second or future third onto your side to get that first, I would do that. Any way that I could turn Henry into, because you have depth. I mean, you have Zach Moss or whatever. I mean, look, if Breece and Saquon, don't do it for you, you're probably fucked anyway. So, but yeah, I would just do that if you can. That'll help you in a 12x9. Go for it, baby.
Yeah, and 26 first, I wouldn't want to move that, because then I feel so exposed and gross moving my 26 first. So I'm not doing that.
Nope.
Yeah. All right. Good stuff there. Okay. Did we answer? Yes, we did completely. Jax, 46, hopefully awesome minutes for the crew. 853 people we are leaving. Awesome. Sadly, they all hit the like because they know it's the easiest way to help out the channel. No, but buymeacoffee.com/trades-in-5 and you'll get yours answered on a live stream. These pop-up streams with Jax are where it's at, man. In addition, well,
you guys inspire us right here at Dynasty Trades and 5. You guys do awesome work. Thank you so much to everybody paying attention. And I think we have a pretty cool show this week. So tune into the Undrafted. It'll drop on Thursday, I believe. So thanks.
Nice. The Undrafted, no doubt. All right, everyone. I'm going to end this stream. We will see you tonight, 8:30 Eastern.